Centres to the Women's Reservation Bill plays spoil sport. Lalu Mulayam withdraws support to the UPA. The Women's Reservation Bill is still set to see the light of the day, but it can still be passed despite the withdrawals. The world salutes womanhood. Gala celebrations lined up for the International Women's Day. And Hurt Locker thrashes Avatar at the Oscars, pockets 6 Academy Awards to Avatar's 3. A very good afternoon. You're watching HY News with me, Luqman Khan. Well, vociferously opposing the Women's Reservation Bill in its current form, the Samajwadi Party and the Rashtriya Janata Dal, the RJD, decided to withdraw their outside support to the UPA government. The RJD and the SP together have 27 MPs in the parliament and are demanding that the bill, which in fact provides 33% reservation for women in parliament and the state assemblies, should also have provision for a quota for women from the Dalit, the OBC and the minority communities. The SP chief, in fact, has said that they are against the bill as it is compromising the interests of Dalits and the minorities, and it is also being undermined. He, along with the RJD chief, the Supremo Lalu Prasad, announced their decision to withdraw support to the UPA government after they held a joint protest in the parliament against the bill that's to be introduced. Their MPs have been protesting the introduction of the bill since morning, leading to the adjournment of the House. In the Rajya Sabha, where the Law Minister Veerappa Moily was to table the bill, Vice President Hamid Ansari, who is also the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, had to adjourn the House till 2 p.m. after Samajwadi Party and the Rashtriya Janata Dal disrupted the proceeding and vociferously protested the bill while demanding the implementation of the Ranganath Mishra Committee report. However, the bill being brought in fact, coincides with the International Women's Day that is expected to be approved without any hitch, with the Congress, the BJP and the left support and the backing of small parties like the NCP, the TDP, the DMK, the AIA-DMK, Akali Dal, the BJD, the National Conference and other independents. Well, today is 8th of March and it is celebrated as International Women's Day every year. The day is globally celebrated to recognize the economic, political and also social achievements of women around the globe. Incidentally, the IWD is also celebrated as the first spring holiday in the Northern Hemisphere, as first day of the March is considered the first day of the spring. The event took off initially as a political one, but later lost its political flavor and simply became an occasion for men to express their love to the women around them. In a way, it has become a mixture of Mother's Day and also St. Valentine's Day. In some other countries, however, the struggles of women worldwide are brought out and examined in a hopeful manner. In most countries, it is customary for men to give the women their best of life. In fact, be it their mothers, their wives or girlfriends or daughters or even colleagues, flowers and also small gifts on the day. International Women's Day is the celebration of the extraordinary feats of extraordinary women. The International Women's Day was earmarked in 1869. And here is a history of that. In 1910, a second international conference of the working women was held in Copenhagen. Clara Zetkin tabled the idea of an International Women's Day then, but no fixed date was selected before the observance. The very first International Women's Day was launched the following year, that is in 1911, by Clara Zetkin on the 19th of March, not the 8th. Success of the first International Women's Day in 1911 exceeded all expectations. In 1913, International Women's Day was transferred to the 8th of March, and this day has remained the global date for the International Women's Day ever since. Meanwhile, President Pratibha Patil, the Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh and the UPA chairperson Sonia Gandhi greeted women from all walks of life. They urged every woman, in fact, to strive for a better future. Appealing to all sections of the society to strive for women empowerment, they said that, in fact, the thought could be reinforced on the 100th year celebrations. Well, on the occasion, women achievers and celebrities from Andhra Pradesh are hopeful, in fact expressed hope that several new dreams will take concrete shape this year to mark the 100th year of the International Women's Day. Here is what some of them said.
Well, on the occasion of Women's Day, we have a very special guest joining us. She's none other than Chandana Khan, Senior IS Officer. Well, hello ma'am. Ma'am, how does it feel to have achieved so much in so less time?
I think this century, 21st century, is the century for celebration for women by women. There is a big difference between our grandmothers and what we are today. I start with that jubilant note. I know that the problem of women is not a homogeneous one, because women itself, they are a very heterogeneous entity. But despite all that, it's not that we are only having some exceptional models today, but we have a vast body of women who are really forward in all walks of life.
Ma'am, what do you have to say about the social, economic and political achievements of women?
Women have made considerable achievements in all these fields, but unfortunately I have always felt that the development of women is a kind of skewed one, a mixed one. Because even today you read the newspapers, there are stories of rape, there are stories of caste ostracization, there are stories of girl children being married. I don't think that we have all come, and the urban and rural divide remains very stark even today. We need to address those special points, geographical areas, issues more intensely. My message definitely will be a jubilant message. We have achieved quite a lot. There is no need for any remorse or any kind of depression, but there are miles and miles to go, and it is not only for us. We need to think, those of us who have reached some pedestal, we have a responsibility, we have a duty for those who are less privileged, for those who need some hand-holding.
All right, ma'am, thanks a lot for joining us and sharing your views with us. It was a pleasure having you here. Women reservation bill is being tabled. What do you have to say? Do you think it will make a difference?
I think it will make a difference, and it's another way of empowering women further, and that's a huge difference.
Do you think in a way it has made it easier for women to make it big in today's scenario?
Yes, in a lot of ways it is much easier today than it was, say, a generation ago, because number one, the society accepts women working far easier, and number two, the opportunities are there, immense opportunities are there. In the private sector, in various fields, a lot of new fields have opened up, and so it's a huge opportunity today.
Right, ma'am, the biggest challenge a woman faces in the 21st century?
The biggest challenge is how to balance work and life, because family, there are expectations, and not only that, it is a huge responsibility. And women who work as hard as anybody else, particularly in the metros, really have little time for family. So I think that's coming. Yes, it's family and work. Balancing, I think, has become the biggest challenge. Yes.
What is the message that you would like to give all our viewers on Women's Day?
I think the message is, number one, the women should be able to do their financial planning well, because that's one area where women still lag behind. They trust their husbands, or they tend to do what the husbands, the way the husbands want it. But they should understand financial planning. And the other message for girls is that they should study hard and become economically independent, because that's the only way they can be empowered. No society can empower them. Finally, one has to empower oneself.
I think it signifies that women in India are finally coming into their own, that they are being recognized as individuals for what they bring to the table, for their capabilities, And they have been proving it all these years, but the bill which was so difficult 10 years ago, now everybody seems to be supporting it. I think it's just right for it to be coming up as it is and for the support that it's getting. Indian women are no less than any other in any part of the world, whether they are in the self-help groups in the rural areas or in the corporate world. They have proved themselves, they have proved their capabilities. They are not leaning so heavily on the males, on their husbands, their brothers, fathers, etc. They are able to speak their own minds, and I think it's just great that it's coming up now. It's coming up at the right time. Oh, I think it will sail through. I think it won't have a little bit of a hitch at all. It will just sail through.
And how rather unfortunate it is that it's been pending for so very long.
I think it's very, very unfortunate, and it was all politics. And the very same politicians are now trying to show that each party is showing that they support it. The very same people who wouldn't let it go at all. We've been talking about it for ages now. I think it's wonderful that it's getting the support that it is. And a lot of the credit, of course, goes to Sonia Gandhi. Young women, yeah, I think for young women, the world is out there, the world is all yours. And I would say that I think we should underline our femininity. There's no need to behave like a man at all. And I think we carry our own inherent strengths, which we bring to any assignment, any job, or whatever we do. And those strengths are great, and I think the world is recognizing us for our strengths. So we don't need to give up, a family, for example. We don't need to give up anything. We just need to be ourselves, and we'll be recognized for what we are.
Well, those were the messages from some of the high-fi achievers, in fact, and a message going out to all the women out there to be themselves and, in fact, strive further. Well, with that, we'll step into a very short break at this point. The news will continue at the other side. We'll be back in just a bit with the rest of the news.